Season 4, Episode 5 of Only Murders in the Building, titled Adaptation, is 35 minutes long, and it's focused on the character of Marshall, the screenwriter that's played by Jin Ha. And he kind of has imposter syndrome, where he puts on a fake mustache and a beard and kind of writes the screenplay for this adaptation. And it's like, oh, okay, what is really happening? He then sends it to Bev Melvin, played by Molly Shannon. She reads it. You can tell she likes it. She calls him back and says, we're going to greenlight it and we're going to make this movie. You see pictures and books of some of his, screenwriter influences that he looks up to, and it's like, all right, what is really going on? And it's really focused on this character, and you'll see why. Not only that, you see Charles, Oliver, and Mabel kind of meet Bev at the beginning of this episode, where in the previous episode, the last episode, we saw that she was at the Saz Pataki, stunt academy, and she's in this little house or shack, and she's like, I wanted to figure out what was going on because, Saz left me a message. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't call back. This was at 11:07 p.m. And it's like, what is... And then the gun was loaded. It was real. She shot off a few shots. Mabel takes the gun away, and it's like, oh, all right, this is interesting. And then you see kind of Charles explaining to Detective Donna Williams what's going on, what's happening, and she's like, you have too many boards up. Like, what is all this murder board? He's like, take it down, figure it out. And not only that, Oliver still has his underlining side story where he's freaking out over Meryl Streep's character Loretta because she is starring in her own show with a co-star who is very well built. His name is Jack Jonk, and it's just a play on words that make no sense, but it's so funny. As the episode progresses, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel go up to the penthouse where they're called, and they say they have to take part in a photo shoot where they kind of supposed to have to wear kind of clothing that they had on before in one of the previous seasons. And then you see the brother sisters, or the sister brothers, or father mothers, or whatever you want to call them, the twins who are kind of making the film and directing it, have and go down and kind of are dragging something with them. And it's like, what is this case? Why is it so big? But not only that, they see that they run into Marshall. They want to talk to him, and he's like, I need to get away because people are asking me in the rewrites. And then they're like, no, we want to talk to you about being a suspect. And he gets very excited. So Charles, Oliver, and Marshall go down to Charles's penthouse while Mabel stays behind and talks to Bev. And basically Bev wants to know what, now that Mabel has all this money because of the rights coming in. And she's like, I don't know what to do, but I'm a podcast producer. I do this, and this. And it's like an awkward situation between Bev and Mabel, and it's really funny. And we go to the scene where Marshall kind of lets out everything to Mabel and Charles while Oliver goes to get, the pictures developed that Charles took in the penthouse. And Marshall is figuring things out, what's going on. He's like, well, if this, and this did this at 11:07, how could the person have so much time within 12 minutes to actually move the body and so forth? And then there's a recreation scene of Steve Martin playing in his kind of James Bond role where he recreates in his mind the scene of him shooting Saz and then, figuring everything out in the body. And then Oliver comes, he's like, I'll do it. I'll figure it out. And then Oliver puts on his little tracksuit and does the recreation, and it takes him 38 minutes to do it. And he's just out of breath, just dead and dying. And he kind of is in a hurry because he wants to do that 12-minute timing. He runs into some kids in the street. He tells them, who kids are on, leashes? It's banned, whatever. And he runs into a really quick cameo appearance by John McEnroe, which was so out of left field, and I didn't expect it at all. But it was a funny, nice touch. And as this is happening, and as this is going on, you see the doorman come in, and he's like, here are your outfits for this photo shoot, whatever, go ahead, put them on. And then we see Charles, Oliver, and Mabel do put on the outfits that for the photo shoot, and we see it's the outfits that when they were first introduced all together as the characters in the first season of Only Murders in the Building. And then you see Eugene Levy, Ava Longoria, Zach Galifianakis come in wearing the same thing, and then you see their stunt performers doing the same thing as well. And then it's like, what is the aspect of this? Then you have the brothers, sisters, mothers, Wuthers, five, whatever the directors are named. They're trying to figure out the photo shoot and everything. And kind of in a way, Mabel says, I had this idea. So she kind of puts on down this tacky mat, where in one of the photos that was developed, she sees that the shoe print that was upstairs at the penthouse was done on one of the tacky mats, because it's put down so you don't bring anything into the photo shoot or the set, or no dirt or anything. And we see Howard now as a PA making rounds about the coffee and is filming things. So they put the tacky mat down, people walking on it, this and that. And we see that one of the brother sisters has the same shoe print. And then the idea kicks into Charles, because, Eugene Levy is coming in and they kind of, have to go out of their way. And it's like, wait a minute, what if it's not one, but two people? And then Mabel gets to thinking, and all the gears start going. It's like, whoa, what is really happening? And then it's like, you see the footprint. It's like the same, but then you get a recreation of, could they have done it, the twins, to kill Saz for some reason? Because Saz in the voicemail to Bev was like, there's something wrong with your film. It needs to stop. You can't make it. But then, she died. She got shot. And as they're figuring out, everyone's standing around in the middle. One of the brother sisters are gone. And then you hear a gunshot. And you hear someone say, I've been shot. And that's the end of the episode. What? Like, season 4, episode 5 is ending like that? That's insane. We are at the halfway point for season 4, and it's insane. Let me just say, this was an interesting episode. Didn't expect it how the way to end it. Known for at least 50 years, 5 decades, 40 years, 4 decades, whatever that may be. A lot of TV shows have done that. That gunshot sound at the end, the whodunit. It was very, very big in the 1980s with Dallas, with Who Shot JR. That was the season finale. You had to wait an entire summer. It was most talked about. Then you found out who really did it. With this, it's subtle, but then it's like you have to wait another week to see what really happened. I love when shows do that, because it gets you talking, it gets you going. They do it in drama shows. And for this matter, comedy shows, dramedy shows. It's really fun, because it just gives you the idea of, like, are the brother sisters, fathers, sister, brother, wives, whatever they're called, are they the ones really doing it? Is it someone else? Why is Marshall so crazy with the imposter syndrome? Who really killed Saz? Was she the target, or was Charles the actual target because they couldn't see? Is it someone that doesn't have good vision and they couldn't tell that it was Saz or Charles, or tell the difference between so? Because you see that Marshall takes off his glasses. He's like, I have 20/10 vision. And it's like, But Mabel is listening to all of this. So we're going to get a backstory of, like, what everything is. And who knows, maybe this will, they'll figure it out. And we see Paul Rudd's character of Glenn Stubbins back as well, playing Oliver's stuntman, which is really good. And it's like, wait, what is really happening? It just makes you think, like, holy shit. This season is really crazy with so many characters, so many things happening, and we still have a lot more story to tell, and still a lot more characters that have to be and should be and probably will be introduced, especially from the trailers you've seen. I mean, there were no really focus on the characters that we know we're introduced to already in this season, but it's going to really rev up and kick forward from here, and it's just like, whoa, what can you really expect? I absolutely loved it. The idea of focusing on the screenwriter, trying to make it big, is the biggest thing that they can do, because screenwriters have that, like, will I make it, will I not make it, how do I get into the industry? It's really hard to do, but you shouldn't have that imposter syndrome. Know who you are, write what you want, and it's just like, all right, go from there. But then it's like, okay, what is the real aspect, and what was the craziness of this movie adaptation that nobody wanted to get made, and why did they want it to get made? What's the idea behind it? I'm hoping that it's someone we don't know and it's out of left field, or maybe it is someone that's right in front of us that we can't figure out. As you're watching the show, you're trying to solve the murder as well, but they keep throwing left and right jabs at us, and it's like mind-blowing to see what's going to happen next. Halfway point, 5 episodes left, anything can happen. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 5, season 4 of Only Murders in the Building, titled Adaptation. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the story? Do you think the brothers, sisters really did it? Or were there more than one gunman? Or did 2 people do it? One to do the shooting, one to do the cleanup? Do you think Marshall has anything to do with it? Bev has anything to do with it? Do you think that we are already introduced to the killer? or killers for that matter? Or do you think that we don't know yet and it'll still be unraveled in the next few episodes? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my Season 4 Episode 6 review of Only Murders in the Building.